By the first week of September, every ranch around Cedar Ridge was buying hay. Mara Voss bought fencing. That was why 3 neighbors stopped their trucks beside her gate and stared at the flatbed unloading polywire reels. Step-in posts, 2 black water bladders, and a solar charger. Behind the barn, 22 cows stood around a feeder with nothing in it. Across the lane, 47 Spanish goats were chewing the bark off a gate brace. Roy Maddox leaned out of his pickup. "That your winter money?" Mara signed the delivery ticket without looking up. Roy pointed toward the 96 acres she had leased beyond the limestone draw. The place was a wall of shin oak, cedar, greenbrier, broomweed, and waist-high brush. Cattle had not been run there in nearly a decade. "You planning to feed cows on that?" Mara looked at the goats. One old doe named Cricket had already climbed halfway onto a fence panel to reach a cedar tip. "No," Mara said. "I'm planning to let the goats eat upstairs. And the cows? Downstairs." Roy laughed, but Mara was not joking. Everyone else saw 96 acres of useless brush. She saw a 2-story pasture, and she had just spent the last of her emergency money trying to prove it. 3 days earlier, Mara had been sitting in the back office of Haskins Farm Supply with a loan contract open under a fluorescent light. Boone Haskins sold hay, financed hay, hauled hay, and, when droughts got bad enough, ended up owning cattle from people who could not pay for hay. He slid a yellow sheet across the desk. "This gets you 120 round bales now," he said. "First payment after spring calves hit the ground." Mara read the interest line twice. Then she read the collateral list. Her breeding cows were identified by ear tag. Boone folded his hands. "You have 17 bales left. Your well is slowing down. The forecast says no rain worth counting for 3 weeks. "I can count," Mara said. "Then count your animals." I did. "Sell the goats." Mara looked through the office window at the loading yard. 2 trailers were already waiting for hay that had not arrived. "The goats aren't the extra mouths," she said. Boone gave her the patient smile people use when they believe the argument is over. "Mara, a mouth is a mouth. No. A cow's mouth and a goat's mouth are not asking the land the same question." That sentence had started the previous morning on a piece of ground nobody wanted. The 96-acre tract belonged to Della Pike, a retired school bus driver who had spent years trying to clean it up with a chainsaw, a brush hog, and 2 different cattle lessees. The cattle had grazed the open strips. The brush had kept growing. By the time Mara walked it, the property looked closed. But closed was not the same as empty. Under the cedar canopy were clumps of little bluestem and side oats grama. Between the rocks were dry grass crowns protected from the worst sun. The shin oak still carried leaves. Greenbrier climbed through everything. Broomweed held seed. Prickly pear stood in patches along the south slope. Mara crouched and pulled vines away from a grass clump. The pasture had 2 floors. The lower floor was thin, but it was there. Floor was rough, thorny, and nearly useless to cattle. Goats, however, had been built to reach it. Della wanted a small lease payment and new perimeter wire. Mara wanted time. They signed on the hood of Della's old sedan. Then Mara called the farm store and ordered portable fencing instead of feed. Boone heard about it before lunch. "You're putting your herd behind string and sunshine," he said, over the phone. "No," Mara said. "I'm putting them behind decisions." The first paddock was only 4 acres. Mara built it before dawn, running polywire from the dry creek bed to a cedar line, then back toward a portable tank. She tested the voltage 3 times. She opened the goat gate first. The goats poured into the brush. They did not wander. They worked. They stood on their hind legs for oak leaves. They stripped greenbrier. They snapped broomweed stems. Cricket shoved her head into a cedar skirt and came out chewing. For 3 hours, the upper floor disappeared in bites. Then Mara moved the goats out. She walked the paddock with a notebook. Where vines had been pulled loose, Narrow lanes of grass appeared, where the goats had opened cedar skirts. Light reached the ground. Mara opened the cattle lane. The cows stopped at the entrance. Her oldest cow, a red baldy named Alma, stepped in first. She smelled the trampled browse. She pushed through the opening Cricket had made. Then she lowered her head to a strip of dry grama grass that had been invisible that morning. The rest of the herd followed. It was not a miracle. The cattle did not find a green meadow. The goats did not turn cedar into alfalfa. But for 6 hours, both herds ate from the same acres, without fighting for the same first bite. That evening, Alma lay near the water tank chewing cud. Cricket was doing the same behind the goat shed. Mara wrote one line in her notebook. Goats clear the stairs, cattle use the floor. The next morning, she built another paddock, then another. For 12 days, the plan held. Goats went first where browse was heavy. Cattle went first where grass was already open. In some cells, they overlapped for a few hours. In others, Mara kept them separate. The more she watched, the less the system looked like a trick. It looked like traffic control. Goats crowded narrow openings. Cows pushed fences when the voltage sagged. The goats needed copper levels that could be dangerous to sheep, but Mara had no sheep. The cattle minerals still had to be kept where the goats could not gorge on it. A dirty water bladder cut intake faster than a poor patch of forage. Shade mattered. Distance to water mattered. Heat mattered. And every afternoon, Mara watched Alma and Cricket before she trusted the numbers. Boone drove out on day 13. He stood at the fence while goats worked a cedar edge and cattle grazed 50 yards behind them. "Looks efficient," he said. "It's getting there. How many days does it buy you?" Mara looked at the map clipped to a post. She had divided the lease into 14 temporary cells, but some held twice the browse of others. "I don't know yet." Boone tapped the leather folder under his arm. "That's the trouble with brush. Hay comes with a weight ticket. So does debt." He glanced at the cows. "They're still losing condition, slowly. Losing slowly is still losing." After he left, Mara went to the metal cabinet in the barn and pulled out her father's grazing cards. Her father had run cattle through 2 droughts before a stroke put him in a care center. His notes were not instructions. They were warnings. Moved 1 day late, grass bitten twice warm. Intake down. Plenty standing, not enough usable. Do not count what animals cannot reach. On one card, written during the drought of 2011, he had underlined a sentence hard enough to tear the paper. "Never let the easy feed hide the missing feed." Mara read it twice. The lease still had browse. The home place still had scattered grass. The barn still held 17 bales. None of those things could carry the ranch alone. But each could carry a piece. She wrote beneath her father's line, "Upstairs is not downstairs. Neither one is the whole house." Then the heat rose. For 5 straight days, the temperature passed 104. The well pump slowed to 2.6 gallons a minute. Mara's remaining hay dropped from 17 bales to 11. One temporary cell on the North Ridge had more feed than any other. The goats had used only half the oak leaves. The cows had grazed the open strip, but left grass under the brush. According to Mara's plan, both herds should have moved after 30 hours. A delivery of water fittings was delayed. The next cell was not ready. Mara left them. 1 extra day, she told herself. The goats returned to the same oak stems and stripped them bare at mouth height. The cows walked past untouched coarse grass to find the soft crowns they had already bitten. By noon, bare limestone showed between the plants. Water use jumped by nearly a third. Cricket wedged herself beneath a mineral gate and ate enough cattle supplement to make her sick. 2 young does developed loose manure. Alma stopped lying down after the evening drink and kept walking the fence, searching for the best grass that was no longer there. Mara carried hay into the paddock. Several cows ignored it. At first, they were not starving. They were repeating. That was worse. Mara had not found more feed. She had allowed the animals to consume tomorrow's first bite today. Before sunrise, she opened the lane and moved them. Then she scrubbed the tank, separated the minerals, fed coarse hay, and watched Alma until the cow finally folded her legs beneath her and began to chew. Roy Maddox came over while Mara was examining the damaged cell. He pointed at the exposed ground. Thought your two-story pasture was working. It was. What changed? I stopped managing it. Roy looked toward the brush. So the top floor ran out. Mara shook her head. No. I stayed after both herds started coming back to the same table. That night she recorded the failure in detail. 36 extra hours. Water up 28%. 3 goats scouring. 1 cow pacing. Grass crowns bitten twice. Shade open too far. At the bottom of the page she wrote the rule that replaced every rule before it. The system is not 2 species. The system is order, pressure, and exit. After that, every move had a reason. If browse blocked the grass, goats entered first. If grass stood open and the brush was sparse, cattle entered first. If one floor was nearly gone, the other herd did not stay just because something remained somewhere inside the fence. Mara moved when the most desirable plants had been used once, not when the paddock looked empty, not when the animals looked hungry, before either happened. Within 9 days, the ranch settled into a rhythm. Goats opened brush. Cattle used grass. Hay supplied effective fiber. Water and minerals stayed constant. Used ground rested behind them. On the barn door, Mara wrote the number of cells remaining. 9, then 7, then 5, then 3. The pasture had become a clock. Each gate opening spent time. Each second bite stole it. When only 3 cells remained, Boone returned. You still think you can reach rain? Mara checked the fence charger. I think I can reach the next move. That is not a winter plan. No. She looked at Alma, lean but steady, and Cricket, thinner but bright-eyed. It is an honest plan. Boone watched the animals. 3 ranches west of Mara had already liquidated their cow herds. A 4th had sold every goat before prices collapsed further. Boone had contracts in his case from men who owed more than their remaining stock would bring. You got fortunate with this lease, he said. Mara looked at the scratched-out numbers on the barn door. Fortune doesn't test voltage twice a day. The disaster came from the pump house. At 2 in the morning, a bearing seized. The well stopped. Mara woke to silence. No pump hum, no water moving through the line. By sunrise, the cattle tank was below half. The backup bladder sat full on a trailer near the barn, but the lane to the active cell crossed a rocky wash. Mara hitched the trailer and started down. 1 tire blew on a limestone shard. The trailer lurched, the bladder straps snapped. 600 gallons rolled sideways in a black wave and tore through a section of polywire. The cattle broke first. Alma pushed into the next cell. The herd followed. The goats rushed through behind them and spread into the final reserve paddock, the one Mara had been saving for 4 days later. For 40 minutes, Mara chased animals through cedar while water soaked into dust. By the time she closed the breach, 2 reserve cells had become 1. The goats had taken the soft oak leaves. The cows had trampled the open grass. 4 days of planned forage were reduced to less than 1. Mara stood beside the collapse-clad bladder with blood running from a cut on her forearm. At dusk, headlights came through the gate. Boone's truck was pulling a hay trailer. 24 round bales. Enough to quiet the ranch for a while. He laid a contract on the hood. Price changed, he said. So did the rate. Mara read the first page, then the second. The security clause listed Alma by tag number. Boone uncapped a pen. No disgrace in changing course. Could smell the hay, dry grass, dust, relief. For 1 full minute she pictured it stacked beneath the roof. Feed rings full. Cows lying down. A night without counting water, grass, goats, volts, or days. She took the pen. Then Alma bawled from the dark. Cricket answered from the goat lot. Mara looked at the line where her breeding herd became collateral. I need until morning. By morning this load may be sold, I know. Boone took the trailer back down the road. The contract stayed on the hood. At dawn, a county extension pickup pulled into the yard. Dr. Sienna Patel stepped out with a forage probe, a scale tape, and mud on her boots. Mara had called her after the overstay mistake. The broken pump moved the visit up. Sienna did not ask for Mara's theory. She asked for the records. She read water intake, body condition notes, paddock times, mineral placement, hay use. She read the page where Mara had written, "I stayed too long." "You wrote down the failure," Sienna said. "It changed the animals. Most people document success and remember failure inaccurately." Sienna examined Alma and 5 younger cows. She checked Cricket and 3 does. She walked the stripped cell, then the reserve cell, then the first paddock Mara had rested. "The cows are lean," she said. Mara looked away. "But they are not crashing." Sienna pressed a thumb against a grass crown. "The goats are holding better than I expected. The first paddock is already protecting its base. Your damaged cell will need a longer rest." Then came the warnings. Browse was not a complete cattle ration. Hay still mattered. Protein and effective fiber still mattered. Water was non-negotiable. Goats could injure woody plants if kept too long. Cattle could erase recovery by taking the second bite. A mixed herd did not create feed. It only allowed more of the existing plant community to be used, if timing stayed precise. Sienna closed the notebook. What kept this ranch moving was not the species list. She tapped the cover. "It was your attention." Boone returned before noon. Mara handed him the unsigned contract. He looked at the repaired water line, the temporary tank, and the animals waiting at the gate. "You're still betting on brush?" "No." Mara opened the lane. "I'm trusting the record." The last combined cell lasted 22 hours. Goats entered first along the cedar edge. Cattle followed into the open grass. Mara moved both herds before either returned to its favorite plants. Then the lease was finished. Not ruined, not eaten bare. Finished. Mara fed the final 11 bales in measured portions. She cut safe browse from a utility right-of-way for the goats. She hauled water at 4 in the morning from Della's house. She checked Alma's manure, Cricket's eyes, tank temperature, fence voltage, and shade. The barn door clock had reached 0. 3 days later, the wind changed. A single drop struck the galvanized roof, then 5, then hundreds. Rain crossed the limestone in gray curtains. It did not refill the well that afternoon. It did not restore the overused cell. It did not put weight back on cattle in one night, but it sealed the dust. It cooled the tanks, and it made the whole ranch smell alive. All 22 cows were still behind Mara's fence. All 47 goats were still there. The next spring, the lease returned unevenly. The cell Mara had overused came back last. She fenced it off and rested it through May. The first paddock came back thicker beneath the open cedar skirts. Della stood beside Mara and watched sunlight reach ground that had been dark for years. Boone visited without a contract. He leaned on the gate as Cricket's daughters worked the brush and Alma grazed below them. "People are telling this wrong," he said. "How? They say the goats saved your cows." Mara smiled once. "People like one animal to be the hero. What actually saved them? I separated what the land could grow from what each mouth could use. Can somebody copy it? Not by copying my paddock size." She handed him 3 pages from the notebook. Water checks, plant use signs, body condition triggers, exit rules. "What do I call this?" Mara looked across the slope. Goats were eating leaves above the fence line. Cattle were taking grass below. "The upstairs and the downstairs," she said. Boone waited. Mara shook her head no. "Call it paying attention before hunger takes over." Years later, the story became simpler every time somebody repeated it. A woman, a drought, a herd of goats, a patch of brush that everyone else had called worthless. But the goats were never the miracle. Neither were the cows. The real change happened when Mara stopped treating the ranch like one empty room. She saw feed at different heights, different seasons, different speeds. She learned that one species could open what another could use. She learned that hay could carry the gap without carrying the whole year. She learned that a pasture was not finished when the best bite was gone. It was finished when staying longer began to eat the future. The drought did not give Mara more land. It taught her to see the land she already had. One floor at a time, one move at a time. And always before hunger made the decision for her.